Yo, what's going on, weebs? Chrono here, and welcome back to the channel. So it's kind of funny. Today I wanted to talk about primarily the predictions that I have going towards February and honestly going all the way towards June for PS2 NGS. But really quick, guys, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Enjoy the video, enjoy the content. It'll help make Big Number get bigger. Big Number isn't even that big by most standards. I'm already making myself sad. Let's get started today. Anyway, so I did want to show you guys an interesting little news video before I got, or news post before I got started, because we talked about this recently, and I don't feel like it was bully, but I'm really happy to see it. So over on the over on the NGS website, there was a post that went up a little while ago that the new official site is coming on the 25th. I just saw this. I think my buddy Mark had a tweet. We talked about this directly, and I mean, we just talked about this in a video not too long ago. If NGS devs are watching the video, I apologize if I've ever been rude to you guys or mean. I try not to be, but this is awesome. I'm really happy to see that they're doing a full overhaul. And the reason I was kind of laughing was because it's everything that I talked about in that video. Issues with, finding campaigns, events, scratch tickets, things like that that should be available very quickly at a glance. They currently aren't. Now, granted, I'm not that big-headed. I'm not thinking that, oh, because I made a video, they're making changes, so on and so forth. It's just funny that all of the things we mentioned in that video, all are mentioned here. Every single one of them. So super cool. I'm actually really happy to see they're going to be working on this moving forward. But what are we here to talk about? Realistically, we're here to talk about the future for NGS weapons and things of that sort. Actually, to do this properly, I should open up... Yes. No, it's the Visiphone. Visiphone. Should be the Visiphone. To talk about the future weapons we should be seeing in PSO2. Now, one thing to keep in mind is PSO2 has, for the longest time, works in patterns. They release things, they usually very rarely release things randomly. I mean, there are new things available, new things that pop up, so it's hard to catch the pattern there. But we can figure things out based on previous release patterns. All throughout PSO2, they did this consistently. Now with NGS, they've started to do this again. First, we can see that across the entire ILEO region release, we only had so many weapons where we had upgrades and updates to them. I'm going to pull out the soaring blades to kind of give you guys an example, because of course I love soaring blades. But our best in slot weapons to be used all throughout were mostly right here. These are Straga and Evil Coat. And the crazy thing about these two weapons were the Straga weapons we got very early on. Evil Coat weapons actually weren't even out by the time that we had Straga. So it was just Straga for a long time. Evil Coat came out later. This was more of a side grade. Some people argue it's better. Some people argue it's worse. But, I'm not going to have that argument with you guys here. Basically, these two are very close. With Straga kind of edging it out a little bit with just raw power, if that was the only thing that we were considering in this situation. But as far as upgrades went, all of our choices when it came to elemental weapons were mostly the same. We had 4-star elemental weapons. We had 3-star elemental weapons as well, and those stayed the same power. 4-star elemental weapons all stayed the same power. And then I'd imagine 5-star elemental weapons will stay the same power as well through the update. Now, granted, we are seeing level increases, but realistically, with the content we have available on the roadmap, if I were to make a guess, and apologize for the website being super bright, but if I were to make a guess, with this level 40 cap raise, I honestly would see us getting something new in the units department, not in the weapons department. If we do see something new in the weapons department, maybe a side grade to our relic weapons. I don't think they would come out with these weapons and then immediately have us, get something else that's going to be better. If anything, it might be just as strong and easier to get a hold of. I could see that definitely happening. So if you're someone who doesn't want to farm a relic weapon, I totally understand. A lot of relic weapons kind of suck with their potentials, looking at EU, Relic Disparter. So you may want to bank on maybe having a different choice later on down the line. Now, if you're thinking about, well, what about these other updates? Realistically, we've got a lot of time. We have the level 40 cap, the level 45 cap, and the level 60 cap later on. Now, they could do something at 40 and something at 45, but if you look at our weapons, we have never had a level cap weapon going through this process. You can see the Straga was only level 15. Then even here, our Relic Disparter, only level 31, where our level cap is 35. So just because we have a higher level cap, I don't necessarily think it's going to mean that we end up with higher weapons. Now, what commonly could happen, I could see them definitely doing, is new augments. New augments definitely would be a thing that could happen. We have new bosses that are showing up, new boss souls, new attack types, things of that sort. We'll have what's we're looking for, new seasons that could pop up, and all of those things could make a pretty sizable difference in how we build ourselves up. But when it comes to weapons and units, while I could see new units popping up, I see them being slightly better or maybe on par with what our better units are right now. And we talked about this a while back, but actually I believe it's our last video. Think about it. Oh, I hate that the Visiphone does this, but yeah, sometimes it just takes a moment for it to load. First world internet, like having everything super fast. But if you look at our units, we really don't have anything stronger than Giantagrius. And the difference is not very big, not enough to like warrant some hardcore jumps. I could definitely see them making some changes here, where our weapon differences from Straga to Relic are pretty substantial. Heck, Straga to Grega are extremely substantial. I can definitely see some changes happening in this department here. Maybe a different type of unit. They could start introducing set bonuses into the game itself. It's something they've done beforehand. They definitely could bring it back again. But I think realistically, if you're looking at investing in weapons, they're probably a solid investment. Now, granted, I don't have guaranteed proof that's the case. We're just working based on patterns that they've done in the past and what makes the most sense. They could throw us a Hail Mary and decide, you know what, bam, we're going to make these completely useless and get you guys a whole new weapon. That is something they have technically done before back in base PSO2, and people got really upset at them for it, and they kind of made it so it wasn't nearly as bad anymore. So I don't think they would make that mistake a second time, but who knows? We've all been wrong before. That's really about all we had to talk about today. Just as far as the upgrades go, I mean, at level 60, I'll be honest with you guys, this is where things are going to change massively. This is where we'll get our next, jump of gear. It's going to be the new zone, all that stuff. So if you're really, really concerned and you really want to wait, this is your spot. It's going to be in June. But all through this time, you've got all of January. I mean, you've all of January to June to enjoy the gear that we have. I would say don't go hardcore in investment if you can't afford it. Totally understandable. There's definitely going to be upgrades, whether they be side grades or whether they be slight increases over the course of this. We have so many things that are coming. We have new bosses that are coming. We have new types of gear that are coming. It could be easier ways of getting the gear that we have currently. That's something to keep in mind, that higher level enemies don't always mean more gear. Sometimes it just means better drop rates. So that is also an option that could be available to us. On top of that, with the Ileo region having higher ranked sectors, that might mean like this could be the side grade to Relic weapons. Relic could be specific to Redum, where Ileo could have something of its own. It'll have high rank zones. Those drops might be something that they're dealing with there. Like the equivalent to the Relic, we have something from Ileo. Who knows what they're actually going to call it, but that could definitely be the case here in this situation. But yeah, that's all I've got for you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'm doing my best to read my comments a whole lot more than I have been in the past few months, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, guys, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to keep up with more, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace out.